And welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stu Booth.
I'm Jack Luffman.
Why have you got the giggles already?
Just
because I don't know my right from my left.
Lucy lefty lot.
Yeah, it's the camera throws me every time. Right, anyway, on today's show, obviously we had a massive weekend, the final weekend of the Premiership. Arguably, and we'll discuss this in more detail, potentially the best last weekend we've ever had.
Yeah, it could be up there.
Well, I think probably maybe most exciting.
Yeah.
With certain realms. So we'll cover our fantasy football winner. But if you're watching this now, you probably would have seen the picture that we put on social media, which we hijacked him really, and we'll talk about again that.
I've not actually seen it on social media. Have you put it on social media?
Yes, it's on there along with a link for this week's podcast.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on from that. We will be covering, obviously, the quick through there. We're going to be looking at what happened in our week. We've got a special interview.
Yeah, you're going to add about, aren't you?
And obviously, you've got ready to set the new challenge for this week. So I'll be interested to find out what's going on there, because currently Stu 1, Jack 0. But should we start with our footballing week or our sporting week?
Yeah. My sporting week, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
We are going to come to you in a second, actually.
Yeah.
You are completely lying about that, because you have got something coming along. Okay, we're going to link nicely into the old...
Oh, yeah. Something, yeah. But personally, nothing, We're just ticking along, ready. We're going to actually have a launch this next season on Wednesday evening, actually, Dubai Wanderers. So,
okay.
A bit of a meeting and chat with that. So, you had your last game last
night, but it'll be Thursday night when you guys are watching it. So, yeah, we played... I couldn't even think who we played. It was Safa in what can only... Well, we were third place. I didn't realise that. We had to win in order to finish second.
Oh.
Which is happy to say we have finished second. We won 2-0. Scored at the old left peg last night.
Did you?
Back to centre.
I thought that was just sat for standing on.
Oh, so did I. Until he actually came.
That's because you had to use it in the Foot Lab last week. That's what that is.
That could be correct. So yeah, with a rocket. I would love to see the speed on that bad boy.
Was it a rocket?
Well, I hit it. I thought the keeper should have done better, but I've hit it hard across him quite high.
I tell you, did it a rocket? Just had you seen Antonio's last week? That was a rocket.
I haven't seen it. No.
But you won.
We won 2-0.
Brilliant.
Season's finished. We finished second, which good to finish second. Disappointed we didn't finish first. Finished third in the league in goal scoring.
Very good. You needed 7 last night, didn't you?
I needed 7, got 1. I was like, only 6 more to go. I only had 2 more chances. I hit the post and I hit one that was kind of, I was kind of just floating it across the goal, and I didn't realise how close it was at the time. I wasn't floating it across, but just kind of lifting over the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And it's kind of curled away from the goal last minute. But yeah, I only really had 3 chances, scored 1 of them. But considering played 5-6 games centre half,
that's all right.
Come away with 14 goals. 3rd in league goal scorer, I'll take that.
Not a bad effort. We've done all right between ourselves this season.
Not a bad return. But we did, interestingly, and we're now going to pass over to Stu, who is live pitch side, who's actually with Neil from Dubai Amateurs Football League. So over to you, Stu.
Right, hi guys. Thank you for releasing us in the studio. Just came through me here. I'm joined tonight with Neil from Dubai Amateur Football League. Before we get going, Neil, do you want to tell us a bit about your role? Apart from what I know is that you not bribe referees, so you organise the referees.
Organise.
The fixtures, yeah.
That is the correct word, Stu. So I have got a fancy title of something like Director of Operations for the league, but I'm a general dogs buddy, if I'm honest. And I'm also, and this is the controversial bit, I am also manager and player for Dubai FC Vets.
Oh dear. Right, well we'll get to that in a second, but we're going to have a recap, because obviously it's not just the Vets League, which we talk about on the podcast. You've got a bit more to it than that. There's a bit more substance, isn't there?
There's more. I mean, the league now, we've got 46 teams, 4 open age divisions and a Vets League. We've got a whole load of 7-a-side stuff. We do casual football. We're basically football in Dubai for amateurs. Yeah,
okay.
Everything.
So you're, what would you say, you're like the Premier League of Dubai Amateur Football. Would you say EFA, more like the Scottish League? Is that where we're going down?
No, listen, you're not going to beat me there, Stuart. I'm not going to say anything bad about EFA. No, EFA do their thing on a weekend and we do our thing during the week, and we coexist very happily.
Oh, you're such a nice guy.
Well, we are better than them.
All right, yeah, I'm glad you got in there. Right, so give us a quick overview. What's gone on this season? How the team's gone on? Is there any standout performances you want to talk about?
Okay, well, we'll come to standout performances in the Vets League last. What I would say is it's been a brilliant season. First one back after COVID. We weren't sure how it was going to go. I'm so pleased we've got to the end of it. Tonight is actually the last league game of the whole season. It's been great. We've had a few ups and downs in terms of scheduling. We've had, the COVID stuff in November and then again in the start of the year. But we got through it. Really competitive. The Premier League was great. Slugs won that one. They looked really, really strong. Irish came up just a little bit short. Div 1 and 2, we mixed it up and we had like a Scottish style split and then moved people up from 2 to 1 halfway through, but that worked really well. We brought some academy teams in, which have added a real flavour to the league. And then League 3 was just really good fun and competitive. City FC under 18s came out winners of that one. They were really good. Other teams I was impressed by, Fuerza España, who played in League 1, they're under 23 team. They are so good.
Yeah.
They've got some guys that come over from Japan to do scholarship work here, and they're just fantastic footballers. I think pound for pound they're the best team in the league.
Wow.
I really do. They're in the semi-final of the DAFL Cup and the Cup finals in 2 weeks' time. I expect them to win it.
Right. So will they then potentially move into the Prem next year?
Possibly, because they're under 23s, they have a lot of change around of players, and they lose the older ones, get the younger ones. So they're not always that keen on going up. Do I think they're good enough? Absolutely. They are absolutely good enough.
Right.
So we haven't talked about vets yet.
Yes, we're getting there. I can already preempt what's going to happen here. Well, what I will do is I will start by congratulating you.
Thank you very much.
On winning the league.
Thank you.
I think it was, I think you said that, it was probably the most competitive division out
So,
of all the divisions.
There was 4 teams right in with a chance of winning it until the last 2 weeks, which normally never happens. It's not uncommon to have 1 or 2 fighting it out, but for 4 teams with a genuine chance, really, really unusual. Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
At the start of the season, did All Stars expect to win the Vets League?
I think being of All Stars, you wouldn't expect anything less. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? But yeah, I think there was an element of the winning streak was over the top of us, but we tried as much as we could to just try and ignore that and play game by game. And yeah, I wouldn't go into any league. I wouldn't go into any competitive league situation thinking I'd like to finish second.
Of course.
You're always aiming for the top spot.
Do you think you underestimate how much the other teams had improved?
I don't know, because I only came in when I came in pre-COVID, so I came in for the last 3 games before we brought down for COVID. So I was very, very unsure of the standard of the teams.
Right.
And then it's in the 7-a-side, so I knew you guys were competitive. I knew the Irish were going to be competitive. I didn't expect Kickers, the Turk boys, to be there. And I used to call them Maserati, but it's not. Maserati.
Yeah.
They're competitive. But I think on the night is that it's not a case of, this team's got no good players. Every team seems to have dotted 1 or 2 good players, and if their lesser players perform on the night, they can cause upsets.
So I'll be honest with you, I was optimistic when we came in this season, but I did not expect to win it.
Yeah.
We'd got some new strong players at the key positions, centre forward, centre mid, centre half, and I wasn't sure how it would go because we were kind of integrating a couple of teams, bringing new guys in, and the only thing at the back of my mind was All Stars are good, but I don't fear them the way I used to. Fear is maybe the wrong word. I also used to have a little bit of trepidation playing All Stars because there was always that aura around them. This time around, I thought All Stars are good, but I don't think they realise that other teams have improved.
Yeah.
So there's a chance. And I said to our boys, you've got a window of opportunity here because All Stars are probably a little bit off guard, and you know that if they don't win it this year, they will weaponise this Vets League in the future, right? That's what you do. And at the end of the season, you grab Pooley and Shane Tolley in, and they strengthen things up a lot. Yeah. And I think next year, you're going to say the trophy's on loan, right?
Yeah, without a shadow. Well, I think on that part, Chris Margison has only played a handful of games for us. He's a really, really good player. Plus the lads that are already there are very good players. Yes, we are getting a little bit older, but I think Breezy now.
Oh, you're not having him. You're not
Breezy
having him.
now qualifies for Vets.
No, he doesn't. Not until May next year. I checked.
I thought it was May this year.
No.
You told me this.
May next year. We've got 1 more year before he destroys us. I was going to ask you. In the game against us, the 0-0, talk us through the penalty.
Right. Did you actually see what happened?
Are you going to claim some kind of Gary McAllister, Uri Geller ball moving type of thing?
Oh no, my foot slipped.
Oh right. Okay.
So if you look, I actually got because we set the camera up on that night, and the guys, I left them on the side because the game was kicking off to try and extend the pole, and they couldn't get it sorted in time. So it was only at ground level, but you can see the penalty. But as I got to hit it, I've gone right. I know where I'm going. The goalie's gone the wrong way. I'm going. This is going across there, and my left foot slides underneath, and I kick it onto my left foot. and then it ejects over the bar.
I must admit it was unfortunate, but I felt like we deserved a bit of luck after the first game against you when we had a man send off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we had to play 85 minutes.
I thought you played really well that game, and I think you were unfortunate, but I think there was no argument. It was definitely a red.
You think?
Through on goal, scissored from behind, definite red.
So my centre half, John, who would like to point out, by the way, he's only a year younger than you.
All right, okay.
Despite you claiming that you want to retire because the centre halves of Dubai FC are too young these days. He said it was just a tangle of legs and it could have gone either way.
Oh, hey, I tell you what, it's centre halves union there, isn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So obviously next year we've got the vets team. I think you're right. I think we'll probably strengthen. I think Dubai Irish will probably do exactly the same.
Yeah.
Then it's up to you guys if you've got any of your young clock coming through. But yeah, you're not going to say that now. But we'll soon see. So I'm going to ask you now: are you going to be able to retain it next year?
I have to say yes.
It has to say yes.
I have to say yes.
Okay.
Will we? That's up to the lads. That's up to me to try and motivate them and everybody to come back. But I think I have to say we've got a good chance.
Oh, excellent. Right. Well, what I'm going to do before we disappear, if there's anybody out there that wants to get involved in the casual football, or even join the team, or even is thinking of bringing a team into the league, how do they go about it?
So the easiest way to get involved generally is to go to the App Store or the Play Store and download the DAFL app. That'll give you a chance to join casual football. It'll give you all the league contact details for us. Bring your 7-a-side team down. If you've got an 11s team, then email me, league@dubaifootball.com, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Neil.
You're
And congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Guys, back to the studio, but I will rock. He's got the OG Classics on, which is Jack's doing a little venture with these guys at the moment with Dubai Wanderers.
Happy to help.
So good to see. Right, see you later, guys. Bye.
Well, good interview. Well done, Stu. That was before last night's game.
That was before last night's game.
Quite live, but it was very good.
I did try I tried to push him on a few things, but he seems quite...
He didn't buy it. You can tell he's from like the FA.
Yeah.
Toes the line.
Oh, well, I slipped in about especially when I was trying to push him on their relationship with, because there's two leagues from what you've seen there. There's the FA and the DAFL, and he was trying his hardest not to get involved, but he couldn't resist the time of them at the end. But yeah, interesting. So we'll see what they bring next season, and if they can retain the title. It's not easy to retain.
Hardest thing, isn't it?
Hopefully, Neil, I don't have to place back to you and say
I told you so.
Yeah. Good to find out what's going on. And again, if you're interested, get involved. Have a look at the app.
And hopefully, we might do something with that season next year. I've got a few ideas.
Yeah, Jack's sort of full of ideas, so
we'll see what we can do.
But
it's good. Very
you've
good.
got something interesting to announce about cricket.
Exactly. So our regular listeners and also people in Dubai would have realised that the annual Dubai Sevens Festival of Sport returned last December. It is returning, well, not returning, but it's going again this December, the 1st to the 3rd. And I'm pleased to announce this is hot off the press because it's being launched officially by Emirates Sevens on Wednesday, the 1st of June. So you need to check out all their social media platforms. But cricket is back. So after a very successful first outing as part of the whole sporting festival, the Cricket Sevens is back, which is really, really good. A few details. So they're going to be just two sections: an open section, competitive, and a social section. Which all tournaments are going to be open to women and men and children, well, not children, young adults who are old enough to play adult cricket. 7-a-side cricket, so it's quick, 6 over. You watched a few, even for the non-cricket lover, it's good, all action-packed. There's going to be the World Rugby Sevens there again, bars, live music. Last year we had James Haskell headlining the whole festival. Yeah, DJ. It's being launched next week. They've managed to keep the same entry price per person, so it's actually 300 dirhams per person. So it's a team of 12 players. You have a squad of 12 and 3 management. So it's 4,500 dirhams for the whole weekend. That gets you tickets into the actual event to catch all these live music, the food stalls, the rugby, the netball, which is always good for a bit of fun. So it's all happening, and it's official. So cricket is back, and we had a great time last year as Wanderers.
So a plan to go one further this year? We'd
love to go and win it for sure. It'd be nice to have. There was a good turnout of teams last year. It'd be good to have more teams from around the world. There was teams from Bahrain, think there's one from Aussie, but I think the plan is obviously there's still a few restrictions flying around, weren't there? So hopefully there will be a lot more. And go on, I've got a little inside.
I was going to say to you, I will be there donning my pink Dubai Wonders t-shirt.
Yes, because they might get a game. Because I think we'd actually like to put two sides out if possible.
One in the social.
One in the social, one in the thing. So, and Wonders, we're hopefully going to put a netball team out as well. Fingers crossed. So, but a little bit of inside knowledge, as you know, kind of on the cricket committee.
The man in the know.
So I've got a little bit of inside knowledge that there's going to be some new entertainment and new F&B outlets, but more importantly, that apparently some of the music acts are, and I quote, unbelievable.
Right. I'm just going to pause that there when you said new F&B. I just hope Greg's Pine's still there.
It won't not be, will it? I've never seen so many people spend £10 on a Greg sausage roll. They were going out
£7 for a cheese and bean pasty.
But everybody was going like hot cakes, weren't they? Or hot
pasties.
Yeah. So that's a breaking news. Dubai Sevens is back 1st into 3rd of December. Cricket is part of the agenda. I can't wait to get going, and hopefully, as we move through the next few months, we'll get a few more details. We might get Simon on, who's the tournament or the event director. Maybe even get down to Sevens ourselves, he said, and we can have a bit of a chat down there.
Awesome, sounds good.
So looking forward to that.
It is obviously a class tournament to be involved in. Even for those back home, if you're thinking of coming a weekend, that's always a great weekend to come. The weather is beautiful.
Yeah, it is really, really good. Forget the cricket, but in the previous years before COVID, we used to go, and it's brilliant. Your Bella's danced on the main pitch, hasn't she, a couple of times? And the actual, if you're a rugby or sports fan, the actual quality of the sport is really high as well. Particularly, obviously, the top level World Rugby Sevens is unbelievable, but even the open competitions, rugby, netball, and the cricket is really high calibre. So, if you're a sports fan, what a weekend!
Yeah, what are you doing other than getting yourself booked in, get yourself to Sevens? It is class.
Yes.
Right. So last weekend saw the final fixtures of the Premier League. With, I can only say, top 7 places were all up for grabs.
Yep.
In regards to top 4, that was not cemented. The Championship hadn't been cemented. I think the top 7 were okay, but it was just where they finished in regards to 6th and 7th. And then at the bottom end of the table, there was all to play for with regards to relegation. So what we'll do is we'll start the relegation fight first. We'll go with their fixtures.
Yep.
So Leeds pulled off what can be described as maybe the result of the last few months, beating Brentford at home. Considering, I know at the end of the season and Brentford wouldn't want to have lost the game, but there was still a fair few £1 million involved in Brentford's final position in the league, which would have been all essential for them. And considering their home record this season has been, for a team out of the Championship, phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. And so Leeds did what they had to do, and they had probably had. Well, there's pressure with Burnley as well, clearly, but there's probably more pressure on Leeds to a degree because they had to go away and win. Yeah. So to be fair to them, they obviously did that. I'm not quite sure that they've got the right guy in charge. He speaks reasonably well, and he's obviously quite passionate, but I'm not so sure. And I see that his first signing already he's made is an American from his former, because he came from Salzburg, didn't he?
I think that was already agreed, wasn't it? And then he went back on loan. This was a full-back.
No, midfield player.
What was it? Because I know there was a...
But anyway, we digress. Great result for Leeds. I really wanted him to go down, if I'm honest. But
I want him to go down for one reason, this is terrible, is that we are going to Leeds to celebrate Paul Walker's 40th.
Yeah.
The last weekend in July. And the Championship would have started. That would have been the first game of the season.
Marching on together.
Well, the thing is, we're taking a lad from South Africa, so he has never ever encompassed any sort of live sport or live football, and his first game could have been at Ellen Road.
Oh, dirty Leeds! He wouldn't have come out alive.
No, but
so these ridiculous comments.
That would have been would have topped off. So sorry, Leeds, I didn't want you to get down. Other than I wanted to take Neil Watson on.
I wanted you to get down because I'm fed up of the hype.
Oof.
Prediction: relegation next year.
Wow, that's a big statement already. And then we'll flip it over to Burnley, who had the opportunity, had the chances, and had everything in their hands, only to give away a soft penalty with a handball.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson punishing them. Wilson then stepped up, made it 2-0. Kone got one back to make it 2-1. Missed a good chance in the 93rd minute, probably a bit late in the day at that point to try and make it 2-2. But Burnley will feel a little bit that they had it in their hands and they let it slip.
Yeah, I think so. Because they had, obviously, there was quite sacking of Sean Dyche was well publicised and everybody was shocked, including us too. But to be fair, Jackson's done a good job. But it kind of like as if they ran out of momentum a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I say, they did miss some chances, and I think a draw would have been good enough, wouldn't it, for them to stay?
No, I think they were on level points, so they had to match Leeds' result.
Oh, did they? I thought it might have been a draw because of goal difference. Either way, they did definitely miss some chances to draw the game. And yeah, you fear a little bit for Burnley, don't you, in terms of getting back up? Because they're better. Tarkowski's out of contract. I think that Cornet, although he's not brilliant, shows glimpses. He's got a release clause of about 17 million.
He didn't even think he was there. He thought he was on loan.
Yeah. So you fear for them coming back up straight up because, as we know, getting out of the Championship is so difficult.
Yeah. Right, we'll move up to the 6th, 7th spot, which seemed to be neither team really wanted it. West Ham needed to beat United's result. United losing 1-0 away to Crystal Palace.
6 away defeats on the bounce.
Yeah, and the new gaffer was in the stand watching the game. But that was interesting view from his part, and actually sitting there going, what have I actually
Did you see Fernandez's pass for the goal?
No.
Oh my goodness me.
And then United didn't really want 6th place by the looks of it, and nor did West Ham apparently either, because they end up losing 3-1 away to Brighton, which then secured United's spot in 6th, pushing West Ham to 7th, which means they miss out on Europe.
Well, no, they're in conference.
Oh, is it in conference division? Yeah. So United are in the Europa League, which is all a lot of rubbish anyway.
Thursday night.
Which secures them positions, so that's them sorted. Then we move into the 4th, 5th position. Spurs needed to match Arsenal's result.
Just needed a point.
Was it just a point? Didn't just want to settle for a point because you had Son going for the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
And turned up, Stone just walked all over Norwich City, won 5-0. Could have, in fact, been more if Son had actually got his boots on the right feet first half. And won the game 5-0. And then on the flip side of that, Arsenal obviously trying to beat Spurs to that position. And thankfully, Everton were already secured because they then go and hammered Everton 5-1. So positions were as you were at the start.
Yeah.
Spurs now in Europe.
Brilliant.
Rumour has it you've got 150 million to spend on players.
Yeah.
But the first out of that pot would be to sign over Romero.
Yeah. So Romero and
Kulusevski.
I think they. Kulusevski, they reckon there might be another loan actually.
All right. So how much will Romero come out?
I think he's already done it, 30 million or something.
Okay, so that gives you 120 left.
Yeah.
And this is the question I asked Jack.
And they've got to try and sell people, I think, as well, like under Belay and people.
Yeah, if you never get rid of him. So where do you go at this point? Do you go proven or do you go investment?
I think they've got to go because on top of that, I think they've got to make sure that Conte signs. I'm pretty sure he will do now, but they've got to make sure of that. And I think with what we've got and where we're going, I think they have to. This is the time, and I've been reading through. This is the time where they've got an opportunity to. I'm not saying like next season to push City and Liverpool, but they've got an opportunity to solidify themselves in top 4 Europe because you've got a world class manager, you've got Son and Kane who are world class, you've got Romero who looks like he could do some things as a centre half, Bentancur in the middle of midfield looks quite composed, Kulusevski. So you've got a real good base of players, and obviously Conte's created something. You can see that the way that a bit of resilience that Spurs hasn't probably never had, or certainly not had for a while. So I think this is opportunity. So I think they've got to buy people who are going to be successful.
Okay, so you want players that hit the ground running. So would you delve into the Premier League, or are you looking around Europe?
I think a bit of both.
Okay, because Conte's obviously experienced would be in the Italian market.
Yeah, I think because the danger is, and I suppose that's the bonus of Romero and Bentancur and Kulusevski, is that the 3 big signings you've made during the season have actually hit the ground running. They've adapted to the Premier League very quickly, which doesn't always happen, as we well know. So you've got to doff your cap to Conte and his man Fabrizio, the director of football. So if they go abroad, you've got to trust that they'll make the right decisions. But I wouldn't be immune to having a look at somebody like, I don't know, I'm just thinking something like World Press, maybe in the middle of the field.
I was going to say to you, out of the 3 teams that went down, is there anybody there that you potentially look at picking up?
Well,
because you've got like Ismail Sarr that he kind of can do it.
Yeah.
I thought Dennis has had a decent season considering the team he's at.
There's that Max Aarons as the full-back wing-back at Norwich, who I think Spurs and other clubs have had a little bit of a look at previously. I think I wouldn't mind if like Tarkowski is on a free.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad signing. You know, I'm not saying he's absolutely top-notch to be playing Champions League football, but we're going to be on 4 competitions. You know, you've got to fight on all 4 fronts. Again, whether he comes as a second, it's different, isn't it? But there's a few players around. I think also they've been linked with, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Jed Spence, who's the Middlesbrough fullback who's been on loan at Forest, and Brennan Johnson, who ironically is who Jez George had on loan at Lincoln last season, who went back to Forest and he scored the goals because he's David Johnson's lad, you know, who played at Forest and
yes,
did he at Wolves or somewhere as well?
I don't know.
His lad. So I think they're kind of going on a little bit of both fronts, but I think the time is now. If Spurs are ever gonna at any point try and really break in and solidify themselves as a top 3 or 4 club, particularly with still a bit of uncertainty around Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, this is the time.
Well, I think you also need to be worried in one eye on what's going on at Newcastle because they will invest this summer and it's what they're bringing.
Yeah.
Because I really like Jibberish.
Yeah.
He's a player.
Well, Howe's done a great job there and some good signings. Yeah. So I don't know. It's good. It's positive, and obviously Enoch, who are sort of the major shareholders, and Levy's the main man, have I think realised the same thing. If they don't do it now, Tottenham will be forever, you know, the cup side, if you like, that they always were renowned for, I guess, weren't they?
Okay, right. Yeah. So moving on then was the title championship, which can only be described as an emotional rollercoaster. Extreme highs, extreme lows, which is what we said we should never do within sport.
Correct.
But we got that. So to start off with, we flicked to Anfield. Wolverhampton Wanderers go 1-0 up in the first 6-7 minutes.
What was
I have no idea. He just got caught underneath the ball. Just one of them naive, immature mistakes.
And I think so desperate to make an early big head.
Just got caught underneath it, and then they've gone and punished us. And then we knocked on the door for a while, and then got one back, made it 1-1. Meanwhile, flipping that around, City then go 1-0 down to Villa. It then gets into half-time, 1-0 at City, 1-1 at Anfield, still in City's hands because of goal difference.
Yeah. How are you nervous at this point?
I was really worried because, and without going into too much detail about the Anfield game, is that we just looked so open. I just thought that the more we pushed to try and get the winner because we knew we needed to win, the more open we were. And I think if Wolves had made better decisions going into that final third, they could have punished us and we could have been 3-1 down if we didn't have got another one.
I turned over. I think when Spurs got the 3rd goal, I kind of turned over to watch the Liverpool was the main game, wasn't it?
Yeah. No,
City's the main game. I watched the Liverpool game because it just seemed a little bit more exciting, and I knew that it'd get both things. And I couldn't believe how open you were. But I loved the fact that the crowd didn't care. They were just urging them to win. But at one point, and you're going to go into this, so City go 2-0 up, don't they?
City go 2-0 down.
2-0 down, sorry, yeah. What a finish from Coutinho.
What a goodness, unbelievable. But that was Coutinho prime at Liverpool.
And they've missed a chance to get 3-0 up.
He was hitting to the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've turned it on, and I could see a situation where, at one point, where City are going to lose and Liverpool are going to lose, and you would have been Liverpool and Klopp and all the fans would have been you'd have been devastated there.
Yeah. And
absolutely devastated.
And I think as we went through that day, there's the element of the emotional rollercoaster, and this is why I had to bring myself back round, is that City 2-0 down, we're 1-1, City suddenly get one back, then it becomes 2-2, then they go 3-2 up, and they score 3 goals within the space of
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And then we eventually go 2-1 up. So at no point were Liverpool top of the league.
No.
And at no point were Liverpool ahead to put City under pressure, which may have made a bit of a difference because there's the element of pressure. I also think that Villa died the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They probably spend a lot of time chasing shadows, trying to hold the shape, getting dragged here and there and everywhere. And I think it's evident when you see the 2 tap into the back post is that they just got pulled apart and just late runners.
And also that third goal, Mings was minging. Like, he's just got to clear that ball. I don't know what he's trying to do. I think you're right. They've run out of steam. I think there's a combination of like chasing shadows as you do at Man City, and I reckon that obviously Gerrard, despite what he'd say publicly, would have had them so up for that game, and whoever they wanted to win the league, those players were playing for their gaffer, and they just got beat. But I agree with you. I think if Liverpool would have just got ahead when Man City were 2-0 down, or even 2-1, the atmosphere in the Etihad would have changed. Flip that. When they got the 1 goal, I was talking to myself, well, yeah, because Michelle would have been listening. I was like, they're going to win this. You just sense. And fair play to him. At the end of the day, you did your job.
Yeah, and I think that's where I brought myself back around to thinking was that it was always City's to lose. We were never in control of anything. So City was expected to beat Villa. Villa get a nice little £15 million payout. Don't they? Because Grealish won the Premier League.
Yes.
Coincidence.
Oh, Mingo.
But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just been a great championship, and we read an article on the City this morning, which was quite interesting in certain aspects. Is that Liverpool are the only team that's really tried to make a fight of City's millions, and they've really made an attempt of. And I'm not trying to argue at this point that Klopp and Pep are not good coaches or that Klopp's better than Pep. I think they're both outstanding world-class managers. But Liverpool are the only ones that are trying to get or can be getting close to City. But how long can that last for, looking at the current crop of Liverpool players?
He made a good point in that your best top 5 are all sort of getting towards 30. I mean, and that I suppose is a little bit... Yeah, I mean, there's some bits of the article that, you know, Man United finished second to them last year. I know it was a big gulf in points. And Chelsea's looked like they were going to challenge at the beginning of the year. Well, just different business models, aren't they, at the end of the day? And what I didn't agree with is, and I'm not saying that I agree with it with Sky, but saying it's the best league in the world. He forgets in that article that actually Man City can go to Burnley and lose. Yeah. That doesn't happen in La Liga or Liga 1 or the Bundesliga. That's why, for me, the Premiership's the best in the world. It's not because... Even if it was a 5-horse race, it would make no difference. A 1-horse race at the top. It's because anybody can beat anybody on a given day. Yeah.
Right. So congratulations, City. Well done. All eyes turn to the Champions League this weekend. Fingers crossed we can get 3 trophies this year. And I think, and I listened to some of the Carragher wrote that Real Madrid have lost more games in the Champions League that Liverpool have lost all season.
Yeah.
And I think in a one-off game, you've got to put Liverpool's favourites.
Yeah, I think so. I think Liverpool. And I think deep down, Liverpool will be completely gutted if they don't win.
Yeah, and I think that Real Madrid, as well as they've done, there's been elements of luck, and you can't keep riding that lucky wave forever.
You would argue that was the same as our boys 3 years ago against Shea. That that night in Ajax, unbelievable. But let's be honest, the chance of that happening again, you've kind of wished you look. Then the penalty goes against Shea early on, and that's probably your luck now, isn't it? So.
But what we have done, so we wish Liverpool all the best for this weekend. I'm just interested in as a neutral for this game. Will you sign with an English team, or are you? Because there will be anti-Liverpool fans out there that are English that will just go, "I want Real Madrid to win."
I had this conversation with somebody yesterday when I was out at my new place of work, who was a Liverpool fan, and I said I will be supporting Liverpool. Or supported or wanting the English team to do well. And it even goes far as saying that if it was Arsenal, I'd maybe be doing the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't be for United.
But he said he was better than United. But I remember in '99 or when I've watched Champions League football when we only had 2 sides in it, didn't we? When it was that, I would want Man United to win. I suppose that was a little bit because I was a bit of a Beckham fan as well. But you're an English club, I'm not saying I want Arsenal to win it. But if it was between...
You did say that.
If it was between an English club and a Spanish club, a German club, English club any day.
Spurs fan club are currently ripping up your application. Just letting you know that.
They know that.
Right, so you've asked me to come forward with the Premier League team of the season. I've done mine in a 4-3-3 formation. What have you gone with, Jackie?
I've got 4-3-3.
4-3-3, right, okay. Do we start with goalkeepers first? See, I've looked at yours. You pretty much listed every
No. So
player.
I haven't quite made a decision yet. So I'll tell you the 3 keepers I've listed and why. Yeah.
You're only allowed one.
Yeah, but I'm going to pick one.
All right, okay.
So Alisson's
You do know that the podcast only supposed to last 40 minutes.
It's all right. They love it. Come on, listen. You're all right. We've got plenty of time. So I've got Alisson's the obvious one. Won the Golden Glove. I don't know why I went. I just think he actually ends up he has to make more saves than Edison. Edison made a couple of mistakes, but Alisson. The other two I've gone for that are in my melting pot are a little bit of Spurs out of Lloris because he was third in the clean sheets, but he had a bit of a tricky start. So I'm not picking him. And the other one, who this will be left field, and there'll be people that disagree, and you will as well. But I think this person has kept his club in the league.
You're on Pickford, aren't you?
Yep.
I think second half of the season, I think he's had a great season.
Yeah. And I know. I also think he gets dealt a harsh deal by people anyway. Full stop. I really do. And I know that he didn't have some of the best games early on this season. But let's be honest. If it wasn't for Pickford, Everton are going down.
So where are you going with?
I'll go Pickford.
Okay, right. I've got Alisson. I think that he has kept Liverpool made big saves at the right time and kept us in. He made some great saves against Wolves.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no,
he's just come out and obviously clean sheet. And Liverpool at times have not been their defensive best. And when called upon, he has never let us down.
Yeah, no,
so
we're picking hairs, aren't we, there a little bit?
Okay, right. So right back.
Well, I've gone with one right back,
left
and
back,
I've put me the right back.
You can't do that.
I've put me the right back at left back.
Right.
So I've gone for Trent just because of his assists.
Okay, I didn't.
You don't like Trent, though, do you?
I do like Trent. I just think he can't defend.
You just don't like Trent.
So I went with Cancelo.
Well, he's my left back.
Robertson.
Yeah, I went with Cancelo. It was that. The other person I did think of, left field, worth a mention, Cucurella at Brighton, the left back. Class, I think. Great hair. Charlie's modelling it on his, apparently.
It looks like a curly suit.
So yeah, I went Trent and Cancelo. Okay. Robertson's always in the mix, obviously.
I've gone Cancelo, Robertson.
Yeah. Centre halves.
VD.
Yeah.
And Laporte.
Yeah. So I've gone Van Dijk as well. I've thought about some of the City ones, and I think they've all.
He's gone with Spurs.
I have.
No way,
I've gone Romero.
You are so Spursy.
I have gone with Romero because of the influence he's had on that defence.
Okay.
That's why I've gone there. And he's class. And he's rock hard. And he'll beat everybody else.
He's harder than you. He's going to get his...
He'll beat the rest of them.
Your dad's going to get beat up by Romero. Yeah. Right, okay.
Hang a minute. You can't sound Spursy. You've got about 11 Liverpool players in all.
Let's stop looking at my team. There's arguments and good arguments for my team. Right, okay, midfield three.
Holding man of Declan Rice.
Oh, had a good season.
Yeah. De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I couldn't really pick. These are people I've thought of.
Here's another list.
There's another list.
Please don't have a Spurs player in here.
There's another list. The list is Højbjerg, Winks,
Parrot.
No. Ndombele. Skip. No. It is. I've got Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
But I thought he tailed off a bit. I've got Bernardo Silva.
Okay. Who, according to Jack Grealish, is worse than Almiron.
Yeah. Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Because he can play in there. Thiago, because I just think that when he's played, he's added a little extra dimension to Liverpool. And Jared Bowen.
Right.
To play in there.
Bowen's more of a right winger, though.
Yeah.
Right, so go on, who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Jared Bowen for his goals.
It's a strange one.
Right. I'm attacking. We're going to win 7-6.
Brazil. Right, okay, my midfield. Can't argue, discount. De Bruyne's been the best midfielder.
Best player in the world,
I think closely followed by this guy has been unbelievably sure as Thiago. I've gone with Thiago in there. And I've not gone with a holding midfielder. I've gone with pretty much three lads that are going to get forward.
Right, so you're criticising me for playing Bowen, but you've got not a holding midfielder.
You don't need a holding midfielder. When you've got the quality that I've got in my midfield.
Go on then.
Thiago could do that job. De Bruyne sometimes does it for City. I'm going with Gallagher.
I see.
I went with Gallagher. I was between Gallagher and Mount. But Mount's had a good season. And I just went with Gallagher because he's done it in a team that wasn't expected to do well. And I just think that he has got a great potential. And Chelsea are going to have to need to dig on that next year.
Yeah, they either need to keep him and play him or let him go.
They've got no transfer bringing in of this, so they may as well.
Yeah.
Why would you even look outside there?
Yeah.
Get this guy in the game, get him involved.
I agree. I did look at some of the other people. Well, obviously you mentioned it, but there's not a lot of midfield players who have loads of. There's a hell of a lot of holding midfield players that just pass it sideways.
Yeah. Right, your front three. Right, this is going to be interesting because mine. I think you're going to be surprised with my front three.
So my front, I've got Salah.
Yeah, and I bet it's
Son.
Son and Kane.
And Harry Kane.
Oh my God!
You can't ignore it. You can't ignore him. 16 goals, 8 assists. The link-up play, him and Salah would run riot, and with Son, Harry Kane.
So how many goals did Spurs score this year? Score more than Liverpool front three? Bet they didn't, did they?
No, because we only had 2 really.
I'll take any two.
So Kane and Son and Salah off.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I have took the Spurs player in here.
Son.
I went Son on the right hand side.
Let me guess. You're going to go Liverpool. So Salah.
No, I didn't make it. And I know people say he got a golden boot, blah blah. I just think he has not performed to his normal high standards.
It's interesting to say that because Son, Paul Walker laugh at you. Son, I think Son had better seasons, box to box, if that makes sense, in terms of his dribbling, creativity,
in front of goal.
But in front of goal, he's had his best season.
Yeah.
So you've not gone Kane. You're not going Kane.
Nope.
Oh, I know who you'll go for. Diaz.
Diaz has made it. What a signing.
Yeah, you got Spurs to thank for that.
You tell me a better left winger at this present moment in time in the Premiership.
Son.
Nope.
There's a better left winger.
There isn't. Diaz is number one.
Kulusevski. Arguably better signing statistical wise since January. That's a fact as well.
I don't believe that.
That's a
I'm not
fact.
having that. No.
We're going to
You need to show me the facts.
after the show. Right.
Show me the facts. Don't get your phone out now in the middle of the podcast, my friend.
Oh, sorry.
We'll
We'll have this ready for next week.
Yeah, bring it on next week and I'll be like, I'm making way Diaz.
But he's a class player.
And then I've gone with this guy up front because when Liverpool made this change, he has got into this position and I think he's been phenomenal for us. Mane has been another level as a number 9 going forward has been phenomenal. Since Diaz has come in and we've shifted Mane inside, I thought Mane would fall apart being the main striker, but I think if anything, he's excelled and he's dragged us through and he has been, second half of the season, the better player out of him and Salah.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, but he's got a bit of nastiness about him.
He's a naughty boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Naughty.
He could have had a couple of reds, couldn't he?
He is.
And surprisingly, actually, that pushed Jota out of the lineup really. Because I think if you'd had this conversation February-wise, you'd like, well, if they're changing it round, if Firmino's not, or Firmino, so is not going to play as number 9, Jota's going to play.
Well, Jota's been awesome, but then what's happened is, I don't think anybody expected Diaz to hit the ground as well as he's done, and he's been phenomenal, which has then gave Klopp a headache, going, right, well, who do I go through the middle? Jota started there a few times, Mane, they rotated around, then Diaz kind of cemented his place there. Then Mane came to the middle and then just not stopped scoring.
What, on that, because he's clearly a ready-made replacement on that left side for Mane or whatever, I see that in the build-up to the Champions League, Salah's saying he's definitely staying.
Mane's said he's going to announce a special announcement. You will not announce that you're leaving the team in such a way after the Champions League final does not make sense to me.
No, so that I was going to suggest that, because I thought that you would lose one of them before this week.
Yeah, but I think the only other thing that makes me worried is that why would you wait until after the final to announce you?
Yeah, so maybe he's going. Maybe he's going to go.
I can buy Munich's.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like I say, up until this week, I thought, and it follows the model that Liverpool have been using over the last few years, that one of Mane or Salah would go, as they've sold Luis Suarez, as they've sold Coutinho. They'd already got a ready-made replacement this time in Luis Diaz, so but maybe they both stay.
No, I think they both might do because Origi's got now, hasn't he? So
yeah.
I think they've kept probably a front 5 there that they can rotate around. And Bobby's going to be maybe more the Origi role, but and they've signed that young lad from Fulham as well. Yeah, Cannavaro.
Is he going back out on loan?
I think he probably will do because I don't think he's ready made yet.
Anyway,
he's done well in the Championship.
Interesting.
But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. We'll post this, but just a final bit of the show.
Who's your captain?
I didn't pick a captain. I was supposed to pick a captain. Who would you pick a captain?
I don't know.
VD.
VD.
I don't think there's a better leader in the Premiership. organises.
I might go rice, actually, just something a bit different.
Okay. We eat chips.
Yeah, rice, chips, mushy peas. What a combo that is.
Sounds like a song. Right, so fancy football, we finally have the winner. You've seen, as I mentioned before, about the picture. So Tom Jackson, congratulations. You end up smashing it by 70 points there.
Apparently, and I don't know if it happened, apparently it made its way, or it was making its way to the primary school briefing this morning in their celebration that they do every morning.
Beautiful. So me and Jack actually jumped in and interrupted a VP,
a senior leaders
meeting, just to give the trophy. So I think they were a little bit stunned and shocked when we came bursting through the door going, "Way!"
So we've done well to keep the jobs.
Yeah, so we're still here, we've still got a job, and Jacko has got the trophy.
And some vouchers to follow as well.
Yeah, and some vouchers to follow. But more importantly,
oh my goodness,
the cup has concluded. The final saw Shrek 11 versus No Toon Lose at to Gain.
Not to lose or to gain.
From Berkey, who's a Newcastle United fan. And the score was Berkey 63, Shrek 73.
Shrek.
So Shrek has beaten
Unbelievable, Jeff.
you, even though he spent most of the season in the bottom of the league.
Yeah, well,
He's a Spurs. He's a Spurs. He's a cup team.
He's in a cup team.
So congratulations, Shrek, and I'm sure Jack says he's going to pay for your flights out here, accommodation, and I think a free stay at the studio.
Yeah, all week. Yeah.
So congratulations. I look forward to seeing you in the summer. Make sure you got some bacon.
Yeah, he loves a all English, mate.
I look forward to it. So if you didn't know Shrek, I am coming to see you this summer. The Woodall Massive. It's going to be interesting.
Cookie reckons is coming.
Yeah, but before we disappear, you're going to tell me what is the challenge that you're going to push me, considering Boo's winning 1-0.
So the challenge is, and I'm hoping to get like a freebie on this, Trump Golf Course. They've not got back to me yet, but whatever, we'll go. The challenge is on their practice.
As soon as you've just said that, it means it's golf. Oh.
Yes, so the challenge is this. We're going to go to the practice ground. We're going to have 5 balls out of the bunker nearest the flag. We're going to have 5 balls from, say, 50 yards, and then we're going to have 5 putts. And they're going to be like, so that's 10. We'll work out scoring system, but that's what we're going to do.
It is a game of the mind, isn't it, golf? So with you being a much better golfer, you can't lose this to me. You can't be fluffing.
I won't lose
shots.
I won't lose to you.
Oh my! Imagine if we come back on next week and I'm 2-0.
Anyway, Stu, at the end of the day,
what do we know?